Good morning, fellow creators. Ben here from Cinder Studios. It is just after 9, Saturday, November 4th. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to be in the studio today. Well, not no time, but less than usual. Which sucks because I'm motivated to paint after 2 weeks of being fairly unmotivated to paint, and now I don't have as much time. So to start things out, I have to go out to drop off, or rather pick up, artwork from a show that's a little out of the way. I may have mentioned this like 2 or 3 vlogs ago, but it's about an hour away, so it's an hour drive out for a 5-minute pickup and an hour drive back. So that's going to suck up my afternoon. And I'm probably going to leave about 11, so that gives me, so that is going to give me at most 2 hours in the studio, less than 2 hours in the studio this morning. I put the first oil buff layer on this piece, which made it way darker than I was expecting it to. So in addition to going back over the waterfalls, which I knew I had to do anyway, I have to do a lot more work with oil than I thought. And because it's oil, it's going to be more time consuming. The plus side of that is I might get some more time this evening to work in the studio, so I can just leave all that stuff sitting on the pallet and it'll still be wet because, oils. Fun other stuff though. They were throwing away parts at work again. I always grab what I can when they're throwing stuff away at work. If you guys have been following the vlogs, you know that I get stuff from work like once a quarter or maybe once or twice a year. I think in one of the vlogs I was doing this where one of the things I got last time were these old chipboards, microchip board. And I thought it would be really interesting to spray paint it black and get pictures of it at different lighting angles because the chips themselves look like buildings in a cityscape. And that worked, but I haven't done a ton with it. I think I started a piece based on it digitally and then kind of forgot about it. But there's a few of those floating around. Got a couple more. Always look for fun, interesting things like that. So I got a roll of vinyl tape, which is good for taping as long as it's still good. As you guys can see, it's been sitting so long that it's kind of created its own warp, so I don't know how good this tape is still, but it was a roll of tape, so that's something. Nice to have. These are a couple of AC adapters. They were like, oh yeah, it's a big bunch of them. So I was like, well, those are just generally useful. I can stick them up in the office and, hey, we need an AC adapter for this thing. We lost the other one. Cool, I got 2. Nice general hardware of nuts and screws and elbows. And then comes the art-related things. So I kept one of each of the microchip boards this time around. This one's a little more interesting. It's got a lot of different little parts to it. So yeah, same deal. I'll take some black or gray spray paint and cover this, so it's all neutral. You might think, oh, it's all these different colors, and why wouldn't you want all the different colors? Because I don't want the colors, I want the shapes for these. So coming in from the side and just seeing all those little things, or even down at an angle, just looking at the shapes. This one has more flat components, but it's still coming up at maybe like a 30-degree angle or something. You definitely get a lot of those rows. This one would be really good for like a marina or a wharf or something where all the buildings are real low. And this one I probably am going to tape off a little bit because it's got a copper wheeled wired power supply unit in it. This one has a lot more big industrial shapes. So the wires I'll likely tape off so they don't get covered, but everything else all has. This is literally like a factory complex in terms of just the way that everything's kind of sitting in there. There's actually there's a fuse sitting in here as well, so that I might end up just, if I can lift that out, I'm probably going to try and do that too. Yeah, these are really fun. I always love finding little circles to use as circle templates. They're always great to have around. They're probably the same size as some of my bigger circle templates, but inner and outer tracings, and you never know when you're just like, yeah, it's something that size without having to get out this. I can just grab a wee little one. And since there's two, maybe I'll throw one of these into a giveaway at some point. Then there are these plastic balls. This, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, this is literally just like sculptural eyeball. Like, surround this thing in clay and paint it. So I kept there were a lot of these. I kept 6. I thought, whether that be 3 pairs of them, or I do one big thing with a lot of weird eyes on it, like a big sandwormy thing with the eye. I've been wanting to get back into doing some sculptural stuff, and I think these would be a really fun jumping off point for that. So here's a couple more of the funny rings. These are a little smaller and actually a little bit thicker. And last but certainly not least are these little rubber diaphragms. I got 2 of these, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, you know what this reminds me of? A linoleum block print. So obviously rubber instead of linoleum, and it's a little bit more flexible. So it's not incredibly thick, but it's probably pretty close to what the linoleum would be. There's a piece of plastic here, so if I go too far cutting into the rubber, I'll know it. Like, okay, that's the bottom right there. But I feel like these would be great for creating small designs, and given that they're circular, possibly a way to create a easy transferable printable version of my logo, because they're a nice size for that. I could probably do like 2 different raised sections and either paint on that color back and forth and whatever, and be able to do some good prints of that. So that's a thought. All of this stuff exists in the lower shelves. You guys don't see down here super often. Sculptural land and usually things I don't use a lot of go down here. One of these days I'll have to reorganize this because it is just a pile. It's a giant messy pile of stuff. It's like things just kind of go down here and disappear. Mostly. I mean, actually, I think the chips I might leave out. No, I'm putting them in. I know I'm not doing that anytime soon. So there's Sculpey down here. There's air dry clay, wire mesh, plaster, brushable latex, 20-year-old powdered tempera, magazines, books, newspapers, foam core, all kind of stuff that I never really touch. Shoelaces hanging out the bottom. So knowing that this particular project likely is not going to get touched this morning, I do kind of want to look around the studio to see things that I could get started. This piece has actually been sitting so long that I'm starting to lose interest in it, but I am determined to finish it. I've just lost a lot of the drive, the original drive I had to work on it in the first place. So it might be in my best interest to sketch a little bit this morning, because I definitely haven't done enough of that in the past few months. Start getting some new ideas going and everything like that. Especially considering the plethora of canvas and wood I have in the corner that I also haven't really used a lot lately. So got that going. Also, since I'll be doing oils this weekend for this piece, you can pretty much bet there's going to be something oil related for next week's video, and it's probably going to be this Utrecht's odorless mineral spirit substitute called Nude. Yes, there will be a joke about that in the video. I've already got the little sketch planned out. So yeah, not a lot of I mean, some exciting things. We're leaning in towards the end of the year here, so I'm thinking like last major videos for the year. Obviously, we'll have to do outtakes. That's usually the last video of the year, the outtakes. So yeah, I'm gonna go get my sketchbook, which strangely enough isn't down here. It usually is at this point, and get back on the bicycle of sketching because I need to. Okay, so I've been sketching for about an hour or so. Got an idea that I actually like. It's the first thumbnail out of that that set of those pages, called High Wire. I've been having fun playing with this Precise V5 pen lately. I grabbed it outside of my regular Uniball pens because I had this in the studio. It rolled under something, and then I kind of lost it. I'm like, well, I need a daily sketch pen again, so I've been using this one. It's definitely comparable, but one thing I'm finding is that when you move really quickly, there's not enough ink flow for it to work. You're going to have to slow down, which creates a interesting way to get different variable lines, where like the Uniball pens, I can get a nice clear line all the way across, regardless of how fast I move, which is why I prefer these. But this is changing how I needed to sketch in order to produce similar work. So it's always good to challenge yourself into new tools. So with this idea, I really like the idea of keeping everything really loose and sketchy. So if I'm going to do that, I'm thinking a watercolor base with an ink overlay. I did a piece earlier this year that was like that. It was really fun, but I do want to keep a lot more of that motion and that loose freeform line work. I also want to treat this more like a finished canvas piece, so I think I'm going to end up mounting some paper to a piece of wood. Can't remember if I still have a long, skinny plank in here. You know what? I don't, because I remember I used that for a Splatter Worlds piece. Oh wait, I've got these ones. Yeah. I just have to cut it down a little bit. It's a little too long for what I'm looking for. Maybe something in half would work. To the garage! Normally I'd go for a circular saw for a cleaner cut, but this is a small enough piece of wood that I feel like that's totally fine. Sand off the surface, make sure it has enough grip. Project like this gives me a great excuse to use some of my 300-pound rough paper.
Oh, most excellent choice.
I'm going to probably just trace on top of this to save myself the irritatingness of measuring. There we go. Excellent. Cap go. There it is. Grab another blade as well, so the next time I'm using this, it's sharp. Piece of tape for the old blade. I can stick it to that, and now I can do this, and it won't poke a hole in my trash can. More people are cut by sharp knives by dull knives than sharp knives, and that's not just something people say. If you guys have been following a long time, you'll know that about 6 years ago I sliced down the end of my left thumb. But that was before I was in this studio. Okay, and I will use a bit of my acrylic gel as an adhesive. Soft gel gloss always ends up being a really great adhesive for projects like this. I'm definitely overdue for a nice big mixed media piece as well. Some with the newspaper backing. I haven't done that in probably like 2 years. We don't touch the surface with wet fingers on one side or the other. We're okay. All right. Didn't think you'd be getting a whole quick tip in this video, did you? Little tutorial in the vlog. All right, now this needs weight. There we go. And that'll need probably 6 hours to dry completely. So now it's 10:30. It doesn't give me a lot of time. I have to eat breakfast and get ready and start doing stuff now. So at least this made for a nice little update of sorts of what's going on. Hopefully I will have updated pictures of this painting sometime this weekend on Instagram once I get the oil layers started on that. But I can't do any of that until I come home. So, as always, I appreciate you guys spending your morning with me, or afternoon by the time you guys are seeing this. Oh, I gotta edit the video too. There's another thing. Hopefully, I'll be able to record next week's art video on sometime this weekend, so I can get ahead and then really just be able to focus in on the piece. Because I don't think I have anything going on next weekend, but I'm also not sure, because things from now through the end of the year, things are just going to keep coming up. And I'll be lucky if, when I get this one done, I probably might only have one big canvas piece left in me for this year. Because I just literally will not have the time to do anything else. But that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog. I definitely have woken up a little bit more since being down here and getting the creative juices flowing. I just unfortunately can't spend as much time down here today as I want to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Get subscribed if you're not already. Check me out in the socials in the description box below. Sorry this wasn't as eventful of a vlog. It just, I've got other stuff going on. Thanks for watching. Keep on creating, and I will see you guys next time.